Hi everyone, I'm Carson from Between the Pylons, and today I'm going to present to you a simplified version of American football. Something you could play in a park or a field that doesn't have the actual markings of a football field. What you need 10 of these cones, 10 pylons, an American football, and then a group of people large enough to split evenly into two teams. Before I get into our simplified version though, I'm going to go over some very basic vocabulary and the fundamental rules of American style football. I live overseas and I play with this amazing group of people which is very international. They're from all over the world, and what I've found is that outside of North America, most people, they don't know the rules or even maybe the vocabulary of American football. So let's take a look at the field we'll be using in our simplified version of football. You'll set the cones up similar to what you see on the whiteboard here, but how far apart? In organized football, there are 100 yards between the fronts of both end zones, but our version is going to be much shorter than that. Depending on the length of your field or the athleticism of your group, I recommend maybe 50 or 60 yards between end zones. In American football, a play is called a down, which can be kind of confusing because down means multiple things. We'll get to that in just a moment. But for now, 4 plays or 4 downs is called a set of downs. And that's why you'll hear things like first down, second down, so on and so forth. But being down is when a ball carrier is tackled, in our case tagged, and he or she must stop running where they are and the play is stopped. Now, the beginning of the game always starts with a kickoff, and in our version we could also do a throw-off, but I'm simulating it here on the whiteboard. Yellow is kicking off to the blue and black team, the runner is marked in red, he or she is tagged and must stop there. That establishes something very important in American football called the line of scrimmage. So what is this line of scrimmage? It's an imaginary line where the previous play ended and the next play will begin. The teams put the ball on the line of scrimmage, they go to either side and get into a huddle, and they discuss their next play. Before we learn what kind of plays can be made, let's learn how they're stopped. It can happen in 4 different ways. Either the ball carrier can run out of bounds, which unlike European football or what we call soccer, it does not change the possession. The same team keeps the ball, it just stops the play. The second way it could be stopped is if a pass is incomplete, which is a forward pass that no one catches. Third, someone could score, and fourth, the ball carrier could be down, which we talked about earlier. Now let's take a look at plays that could be made from the line of scrimmage. All plays begin with someone called a quarterback. That quarterback is the person who, if they chose to do a passing play, would be the passer. He or she says something like hike or go, and then could throw a forward pass from behind the line of scrimmage. It could be caught by either team, so let's take a look at it. If it's caught by the same team, that's called a reception, and play continues in the same offensive direction. However, if it's caught by someone on the opposing team, that's called an interception, and play reverses direction. In that case, the defensive players would immediately become offense, taking the ball in the opposite direction, trying to score in their own end zone. Now, let's go back to how a play begins. All plays begin with the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage saying something like hike. A forward pass can only be made once per down and must come from behind the line of scrimmage. A backward pass, though, can come at any time and from anybody, but it's not advised. It's risky. So why? Let's look at passing a little closer. A forward pass that falls to the ground is called incomplete, and play is just stopped. The following play would then begin at the original line of scrimmage. It is innocuous. But a backward pass that falls to the ground is something called a fumble, and play continues. When this happens, any player can pick it up and try to advance the ball in his or her own direction. Another option would be that there are no passes whatsoever. The quarterback simply hands the ball to a runner, and that runner tries to advance in the offensive direction. In any event, a completed play, whether for positive or negative yardage, establishes a new line of scrimmage. So let's take a look at an example play, once again illustrated on the whiteboard. The quarterback hikes the ball, the runners go out, the quarterback looks for a receiver, throws the ball, and it's caught. Now that receiver is tagged and down, which stops the play and establishes a new line of scrimmage. This brings up second down. And in our version, you have 4 downs to cross midfield. Once you do, you get a new set of downs to eventually score. And this has been Between the Pylons with Carson, presenting simplified American football.